Joy Network.
Here we go. All right, Mia, here we go.
Django, have you always been alone? Django, have you never loved again? Love will live on, life must go on.
All right. Alrighty. What's up? And yo, what's up? This is your boy, Deacon D. Django, and we are back again with another episode of The Devil's Advocate. All right, people, how y'all doing? That was like a intro and outro, like super quick. DJ with no name is out there. And, hold on. Okay, there she go. Mia, I tried to invite you, but hold on, before we get started, I want to say good morning till she woke up out the bed and ran down here. She still looks sexy and cute though. Don't worry about that. She gonna make us some good videos one of these days. Hopefully for the well, you're really fighting with that object today. You okay? There you go. Fight with it.
Okay, I'm still.
You got it out the.
Yeah.
You got it out the sleeve, huh?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Wants to be in. Okay, I've got to put Mia. Okay, hey Nikki, let me see if I can get Mia up in here. And I want to say good morning to my illustrious, sexy co-host, Miss Nikki G. How you doing, sweetie?
I am wonderful.
Okay. And I'm trying to get, hey, Mia Mac in cheese. How you doing? Mia?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm trying to invite you up. Okay, bring Mia on camera. I'm adding you on my camera. How you doing?
Okay.
Can you see me?
I'm doing good. I'm in this horrible rain. I can see you.
Okay, you can see me? Okay, well, that's a good thing. And welcome to Day Advocates. How you guys doing?
Mm-hmm.
Again, we have got a blistering Friday hot heat. And I mean, you know. And I want to welcome Nikki G back. Hey, Sandra. She finally came back from her vacay.
Yeah, I still
with
have
the
a little
trouble
sun.
click.
I have a little sun.
No, you got a lot of sun down there.
I know. I'm still tanned up.
Mia, she done came back about 20 shades blacker. About 20 shades blacker.
And that's a good thing. I wish I could stay this shade. I wouldn't have to wear any makeup.
So you going back down? You going back down a little bit, aren't you? You going back on another vacay?
I'm going 1st of August.
1st of August. Right for the picnic.
Yep.
Mia, can you hear us? Because it sounds like you're going in, out. Oh, it's the rain.
You know what? I feel like I'm hearing you behind whenever you're talking. So I think it's not going to work with me being on the live.
Okay. Yeah, because it won't add you. Hey, Serena. It's not going to add you, so I can just keep you on Skype.
It sounds like rain.
It sounds like rain.
We can hear the rain.
Mia, you making love to your boo in the rain. Is that what you doing? You want to tell us the truth right about now?
Listen, I am not making love to my boo in the rain. My boo is driving in the rain.
Okay. I'm just saying, you know, I mean, I ain't got nothing against you making love in the rain to your boo. I didn't know y'all was getting down freaky like that while driving. But anyway.
Drive safely during the rainstorm.
Yeah, you know, that's when we like to make love is in the rain. In the rain. I saw you. Okay. Anyway, we're going to get it here.
Moving right along.
Anyway.
Meanwhile, the ranch.
Back at the ranch. And Head Savage, he'll be in here momentarily. He's trying to mess with the cable guy. Hey, Conrad, what's going on, Playboy? We got...
still has cable.
Don't be sassy. See, Red, you see this. I hope he watches so he can put you off last. But anyway, today, folks, we are going to go ahead and start us we got an interesting topic today because... I'm beyond belief. Me and my co-host, we were fighting yesterday on the end. We were fighting on the topics. We were trying to get together what we want to talk about. Now, don't get it twisted. We've been doing this 3.5 years, and we always have something we can bring you guys every Friday. Oh, Mia, see, they making love in the rain. I told you, here she go. How you doing? What happened? Y'all knocked the phone off the dash while y'all was trying to switch position. Hello?
Hey, y'all, I'm back. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, I know what y'all was doing. Uh-huh. Oh, now he done strapped you in now.
Ain't nobody doing nothing.
Yeah, he done strapped you in now. Okay, all right, I got you. I see you strapped in now. That's why you got kicked off. Mm-hmm. All right, baby, go on over there and get strapped back in. Okay. So we were talking yesterday about, we always kind of come together trying to fight between each other about what we want to talk about. So we decided, since, Nikki G said, let's talk about something different in relationships. Okay, fine. So we're going to talk today about...
Incarcerated.
Huh? What? Go ahead. We're going to talk something different, right? We agreed that we're going to talk a little something different. We're going to talk today about, what's up, Ephraim? Should black folks kind of change up and reassess what we've been believing in? Because we had a conversation yesterday, and we want to talk about some of the mess that's kind of been going around and the stuff that black people kind of latch on to around here today, and why we should stop doing it. And does it help us rise as a folks if we decide to kind of stop latching on to stuff?
But most black people beliefs come from religion.
Is that a fact?
That is a fact. That is usually their foundation
Uh-huh.
to how they try to live, and everything is usually centered around their faith.
Very, very true, Nikki G.
So
I think that's Nikki.
So
That's me.
you think it's Nikki? Well, what y'all?
Look, we the only two female co-hosts.
Yes, I guess that would kind of be
was
a
able to
Queen
get on
B.
or not, so I was just making sure.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. It might be.
And we
hold on.
really need our
me
other
put this up
co-hosts
here.
to talk about religion, because we do have some non-believers.
Yeah, he'll be here shortly. He's trying to get his cable while you up here trying to sass him on a Friday morning about who still got cable. I got cable now. What's up with that? You trying to say something,
I
Nikki?
don't know anyone else that has cable.
Streaming services, bootleg. Okay, well,
No
anyway.
bootleg,
Bootleg. That's what
no
it is.
Fire Stick or any of that.
Comcast. If you need to know where the bootleg going on.
Oh, okay, my area we can't even get.
Oh, you can't
Comcast,
get-
So okay.
Oh, okay. So, anywho, so you said it becomes from religion. So all of us are kind of, all of us raised in church. Were you raised in church, Nikki?
I was raised in the church.
What about you, man?
Yeah, I was raised in the church, and then I woke up. But yeah, I was raised in the church.
Was you sleeping all the time the pastor was preaching? You were asleep.
I could have been. I would have gotten the same information.
I don't know, because some of our pastors, they don't know how to be quiet in church. They, yes, God.
I just
has
think,
said
I
it."
mean, most people are raised in the church, but as you get older, sometimes, like, my faith is stronger than my attendance in church.
Right.
I put it like that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's a good way to frame it.
That's a good way to frame it, don't you think? Oh, hold on. Let me over here and shout to him, because he over here look like he's sleeping when we talk about church. How you doing, DJ with no name?
Feeling good, feeling great. Today's my daughter's birthday, so I'm
Oh,
kind
happy
of excited.
birthday.
So-
Happy birthday.
Today
to
is
you.
my brother's birthday.
Happy
congratulations.
birthday.
Tell him I
Okay.
said happy birthday.
Why?
Birthday,
Well, I ain't got
Justin.
nobody's birthday to shout out. So now, blah, leave it alone. so let me ask you a question, DJ No Name. Did
Okay.
were you raised in the church?
Most definitely. That's actually where I
That's
got.
kind of like a prerequisite to be black, ain't it?
Thing about church for me is it's kind of where I figured out what I wanted to be in life.
Right.
You know, it started off. I started. At 6 years old, I started in the church choir, and I realized music was the thing for me, and that's one of the things I can attribute to being in church.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
Okay, so we talk about this awakening we get as we get older, because it's kind of interesting, because it seems like our parents and grandparents, they seem to kind of get closer into the church as they get older. I guess they know they're getting ready to go to heaven, so they want to.
But you realize that church back then is totally different than church today.
Exactly.
Not only that, but you also have to realize how much access people have now to other information that they didn't have 20 or 30
Right.
years
Very
ago.
true.
Exactly.
The
Exactly.
age of information, technology.
Right.
Right. So has science killed off our miracles that we grew up to believe in church?
Yes.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't think so that it's all about science. I just think
I
that,
don't either.
I think that today most pastors look at church as more of a business than 20 or 30 years ago.
But it's always been a business.
It's always
Right,
been
it's always
a
been a
big, it's
business.
always
Always been
been a
based on
business.
power.
It's
Right.
always been a business, but it was never ran totally like a corporation as it is today. That's what I'm
Valid
saying.
point.
Yeah.
Because there still has technology in it, because now they have more access to reach out to members,
Uh-huh.
even for the simple fact that if you do not want to attend church, you can watch it online.
Right.
You can send your payments in. You have a lot of churches that have ATM machines in the lobby. So
That's
What?
what
Wait a
that
minute.
is.
Hold on.
Wait a minute.
It's,
back
it's
up,
funny
back
you
up.
mentioned that.
Record scratch.
It's funny.
So they
you
trying to
mentioned
get
that.
your money every way
There's
they
a
can.
church with an ATM
The
in the
first time I heard about
That was it.
I was a kid. Remember when Al Green first came
Hey,
out
Katina.
as deciding he was going to be a pastor?
Yeah, he was gonna be
He
gospel.
retired
And
from
the
music.
grits woke him up.
Yeah.
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 That was one of the first churches I'd ever heard about that had ATMs in it.
Have an
there
ATM
there
in
are
church?
a lot
Come
of
on.
churches that have ATM machines, and not only that, you can now,
Hey,
tithe or send your offering online. So, hey, most
We
churches
gonna
may
get
have a
your money one way or
cash
the
app.
Cash App.
So
Cash App.
you can cash app your tithe.
Yup,
So
they
I'm
gonna
just
get
saying
Square
that it's
and-
ran more like a corporation than in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Although it may have been ran like a business, it was just on a small scale.
Okay. Well,
I don't know, Nikki. I think that it's always really been run like that, but they just ran it with the tools that they had present at that time.
Right.
I mean, when Jesus went into the temple, he turned it over because of how they were running it like
Right.
a business. So
Right.
it ain't nothing new under the sun. Technology has made it different in the ways that they may do what it is that they do, but they're doing the same thing that they've always done. And that's, trying to figure out ways to generate revenue for this nonprofit that's a church.
And not only that, you have pastors that want a certain amount of salaries. When it's time, when they're looking for a new pastor, it's more of a business, and they are getting more people in. But then you have a lot of people that was probably raised in the church that's kind of moved away.
so
from
we
that.
can't break from that. Can
Well,
we break from that? Well, I mean,
I don't
people
know,
don't
because
break
a
from
lot of people that stop going to church, usually something happens in their life that bring them back into the church.
Okay, so let's go there. Let's go there right there.
From the people I know, like a illness, a death, or something that
So when we get
divorce
shook-
or something that make them decide that I'm gonna go back to church.
Okay, so
'Cause
basically,
it was the opposite for me. I think those things made me walk away.
oh, really?
And
So-
I can see that.
So let's understand. You know what? They're saying black folks. The quickest way to get a black man fired religion is to send him to jail. So my thing about it is when we talk about this and we say, hey, things bring us back to the church, and I think there's a big difference between what we call spirituality and religiosity. And the thing about it is people have not been able to discern those two. I've sat around here and I'm not gonna lie. Hey, Cassandra, I went to what I call a very mixed church here in Little Rock. It's very integrated. Love the sermon. 30 minutes. Ain't gonna be no in there at 2 o'clock in the afternoon because hey, I had to get up, go watch my football game.
That's another reason some people stop going to
That's
church.
right. Football. That's right, ma'am.
Too long.
I think that's Head Sanford. So we're gonna get back into that shortly. Let's go and take a break right quick,
Bills.
and we're gonna talk about the other issues that we are dealing with. Because guess what? I think our agnostic just popped up at the door. We'll be right back, folks. Devil's Advocate.
Django, have you always been alone?
Our mouth-watering brisket, savory smoked chicken, scrumptious meals and appetizers, or tantalizing sweet treats. We'll customize any menu to suit your needs and guarantee a flavorful and festive event for you and your guests. Check us out at
Having issues with child support, traffic tickets, criminal matters, family, wills, estates, and probate matters? Call Jimmy C. Morris of the Morris Law Firm here in Little Rock, Arkansas. An aggressive powerhouse attorney that will fight for you. Call him 7 days a week from Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. and from Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Weekend appointments are also available. And also, check out Jimmy Morris on The Devil's Advocate once a month for our infamous Ask the Attorney segment as he talks about social, political, and legal issues. Check him out, and his dedicated staff of professionals will fight for justice for you. Again, that's the Jimmy C. Morris Law Firm. His number is 501-319-7647. That's the Jimmy C. Morris Law Firm. His number is 501-319-7647. Call him.
mouth-watering brisket, savory smoked chicken, scrumptious meals and appetizers, or tantalizing sweet treats. We'll customize any menu to suit your needs and guarantee a flavorful and festive event for you and your guests. Check us out at
Okay. What's up, party people? How y'all doing? That's me. I am Django. I am the 1 in 10,000. How you doing there? Oh, since we're talking, and we had a knock at the door on our commercial. Guess who just popped in? Head shining and everything. That's our homeboy. And he still ain't grown no hair. But at least he ain't wearing a hat this week. What's going on here, Savage? How you doing, bro?
What's up? What's up?
Okay. Now we getting back. Me and Mac, you still there? Mac and Cheese. Are you there? Okay, well, you froze again. Y'all might be doing something on the... Okay, I'm going to do that there. Okay. We are back, and we were talking about why people are leaving the church. So, somebody threw something out here. Ooh, wait a minute. I think it came on my timeline talking about these scandalous pastors.
One thing, and that it ran across my mind. You mentioned one way to find religion is in jail. You just made me think about something. Okay. It's not just jail. It's an institutional, just being institutionalized, period. Because if you think about prison, the AA, when the halfway house, all of these things are usually religion based. And like especially like with AA, they have the 12-step program. The biggest thing that they try to do is force religion down your throat.
In an AA program?
Yes.
12 steps. Like
let me tell you something.
Which step is that?
Thank you.
Give yourself over to a higher power. That
so it's
13 rock is the highest.
That's like
on
step
the
one.
Shelf. That's the highest.
That's like
power.
step one. And it's like and I'll say this for the record.
Okay.
Being a veteran, and I had a issue when I moved back home, where I was homeless for like 3 years, and so I ended up getting connected with the VA, and they were like, to get a house, you have to go through one of our programs. So you have to basically say, hey, I was a drug addict, or I was an alcoholic, or something like this, so you can get into the program, so you can get a place to stay. And through that, they sent me to basically like a halfway house that sponsored AA. And through that's where you learn so much about people, and you learn about how religion is one of the biggest businesses on earth.
Well, that's because
I work for the VA, but I'm not going to discuss VA business on here.
business.
But there's other ways.
I'm speaking on my personal experience.
I know that's your experience, but there's other ways for homeless vets to get into programs without saying that they have some type of addiction, and I do that every day.
Well, and I'm just saying, because there was this thing that was put out in politics, and this became big, especially in the Reagan era, was called faith-based initiative programs. And basically, the argument was, we're going to help people, but we're going to help them and direct them towards some sort of religious alternative for what they're doing. And don't get it twisted. I think one of the biggest things is when you go through a personal tragedy, you go through a personal downturn, or we call a valley, as they say in the church. I'm putting on my deacon hat at this point. When you go through a valley, people get what is called a moment of reflection.
Moment of clarity.
Let's hear.
Well, that's when the alcohol.
Let's hear from a non-believer.
Oh yeah, Head Sanford.
Let's hear
his
agnostic.
Standpoint. I ain't gonna call him. Nah, he believe in sun.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna talk to. Let's talk to Head Sanford. Go on, Head Sanford. Talk to us. Tell us about, should we break the mold of it? And I want to be careful, because we are on a gospel station, and I'm not telling people that they shouldn't have their right to be religious. I think what we need to do as a black folk is we need to start approaching more things from a spiritual perspective. Because right before we got on air, let me just say this here before I let you take it over. I was talking to a sister. She's a Republican. Now, okay, she's a Republican, and she's sitting around here. She's a Trump supporter, so that's already 2 strikes. That's already on the verge of delete and block on my Facebook page, right? So she's going up there. She's telling me, she's saying, say no to the hate. And basically what she's saying is that black people need to say no today because, we've talked about this last week about how it seems now that people on the left are getting as angry and as hostile as people on the right. And the thing I told her, I said, no, sister, I said, let me tell you something. I said, that being on your knees and praying for your enemy while they sitting around here burning you alive and crispy in the churches has been messing us up now anyway. So I said, and I'm not, and look, I understand turn the other cheek, but we'll talk about that context in a second. Head Sam, you take it away and tell us what you think.
What's the question? Should black people stop believing in religion, or what's the question?
No,
it started out with black people's belief, or what was
should black people reassess what they believe in?
And I said most black people beliefs come from a religious
right.
standpoint.
Well, how we were raised. It's called tradition. That's how we were raised.
Right, exactly.
I went to church. My mom went to church. My grandmom went to church. That's all I know. I went to church.
Nah, I think they can still believe. They just need to take different actions. That's what I believe. They can still believe in whatever they want to believe. Just, I think they should just change the way we do things. And focus on taking action. In our communities.
So no more sitting in church and sitting around here. And let's understand this. When we talk about praying for our enemies, okay? You can pray for your enemy, don't mean you got to let them cut your feet off. Okay? Now, go ahead, Mia. Because I got a punch of colonizer in the mouth story, but go ahead.
But listen, I will say this.
Hey, Kendrick.
I do think that people have a right to believe anything that they want to believe.
Right.
What my issue is if you're a person like myself or Head Sanford who don't believe that, then people come for you.
Right.
And to me, religion, basically Christianity in particular, is a very passive type religion.
For black folk, it is. Well, for black folk, it is. For alt-righters, it isn't.
True.
But black people see it as a very passive movement and a passive religion. And I have to believe that black people should reassess at some point and say, okay, has the passiveness, has that worked for us long term? And no, it hasn't. It really hasn't at all. And so, yeah, you should do a reassessment of your life and figure out, okay, is this working for me right now or is it not? And I don't think that, and I think whatever you believe, if it works for you, that should be okay. Period.
So right. Are you saying that you and Head Sanford feel that those that are really religious, do they try to convince you that your beliefs is wrong?
So
or do they try to make come on over, you ain't been to the right church, just come on back.
Right.
Bopping churches.
You hear that a
10
lot.
years ago,
Yeah.
but now I don't.
So you can add to the ATM, go pull out the ATM machine.
Or you just tell them right out, I don't want to hear that. I have my beliefs, you have your beliefs. Because I think it's all about most religious people always try to convince you of what you're doing wrong and what I'm doing right and why you should be over here with me.
It's always been a judge fest.
Yeah.
That's most definitely that. Right. And that's why you do have a lot of people that stop going, and if you have a pastor that you know for a fact or hearing anything and he's doing wrong and you still continue to follow him, there's an issue.
Well,
see, okay, and I'm so glad you brought that up, Nikki.
I'm sure you are.
You have people. well, let me just say this: you have people that are coming from me, or saying you need to go to church, you need to go to church, you need to go to church, and I'm looking at the church. You sitting up going to a church where the pastor may or may not have been in a relationship with somebody other than his wife.
In the congregation.
May not have kids outside of his marriage.
In the congregation.
In the congregation.
Candyland.
The minister of music is gay.
Oh.
You got all of this going on, and you're going to tell me about my sin or what you feel like I'm doing wrong.
Well, see, that's the number one thing that I hate when I hear people say you need to go to church. You can't tell me I need to go to church when I watch how you living. Just because you sitting up in there every Sunday doesn't mean anything. Because that's where the majority of the sinners are on Sunday morning anyway at church.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that they came from the club last night. It was doing.
Or once they leave the church and he's going to stop and see his girlfriend before he go home to eat dinner with his wife.
I guess it really makes sense that failure is only proof that you're trying.
To get that temptation of them 40 days and them 40
but
nights.
But seriously, I just don't understand how people can go to church every Sunday and follow a man and his words and he's not living right.
Okay.
Well, they entertain. It's entertaining. Church these days is just...
It's filled with gossip. It's a place to congregate and talk
women
about
looking
things.
for men looking for women.
Well,
women looking for women.
But they always tell people to go to that. If you want to find a husband, go to church.
Man, please.
No, if a man want to find a girlfriend, he can go to church because they always say... Most of women are there looking for a spiritual man as a mate, and you have what? How many men?
Hey,
they looking for.
They
looking for.
I've always heard if you want to find a lonely woman, go to church.
All those thoughts on Christian Mingle. What almost got Tristan single?
Nah, they looking for some Long John Silver with some good game, and if you go to church, you're gonna get it. No, and let me state this.
And people don't have no problem that they tithes going to pay their pastors outside child support case. Okay. Anyway, let's move on.
Jesus run me around there that one time.
Paying college tuition for them outside kids. But let's continue.
Okay, so here comes the argument. I'm playing devil's advocate here because that's what I'm good at doing. My go to disapproving of you guys shenanigans this morning.
But we telling the truth.
Yeah, that's a problem. Okay, so so
tell the truth, shame the devil.
Okay, well, he angry right now. So anyway, that's why it's so hot outside. So here's what it is. So often we hear people say, "Well, if you go to church because you worried about what other people do or somebody in church hurt you, then you didn't really go to church for you." Now you heard that 1,000 times. Have we not heard that? Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me play devil's advocate on this one. We often hear so often that church is a hospital, right? It's full of sick people, right? Now that's some good marketing for you right there. That's some marketing for you. It's a hospital full of sick people. Well, sometimes.
Well, if you gonna go to a hospital that's full of sick people and ain't nobody getting well, why you gonna?
That's right. You gonna get sick too. So that's my issue is that when you go to a hospital and people are sick, the purpose of going to a hospital is to be made well. Right? Mm-hmm. To be made whole. As God said, God restoreth. Because that's what I'm saying. People say, well, God giveth, he taketh. What God doesn't take, God restores. Whatever the devil takes. So here's what my issue is that if we're going to sit around here and argue that we're in a hospital full of sick people, the purpose of going to that hospital to deal with sick people is that eventually they get well. Now, if you get to a point that, you're allowing certain things to go on in your church and you're not checking it and people are not getting well, then that kind of talks about what's wrong with the doctor, isn't it? And when I talk about the doctor, I'm not talking about God. I'm talking about the physician who's supposed to be guided by God's hand, right? And that's the pastor.
True.
Or pastor, as we say in modern terminology, the pastor. So we have to look at these things. We have to look at these things and say to ourselves, okay, I'm up here in this hospital, but I'm in here with this room, people with the flu, and it seems I keep coming back every week, and everybody still got the flu. Nobody's getting into the flu, but now I'm sitting around here, and I'm absorbing the energy from all these people that are sick. So I totally disagree with that. We talk about, well, that's what people should do, because I'm a firm believer that, look, if people want to sit around here and they want to stand it, that's their business. That's right. But I have a right to go to a place. And look, no church you're going to go to is ever going to be perfect, have a perfect pastor. Look, I've had some pastors say some great stuff in church. And I'm going to tell you what they always screw it up with. When they sit around and try to talk two things. And this is what I told you when I talk about going to this integrated church that I tend to go every once in a while here in Little Rock. The minute he started talking about Islam, I shut him right out. Because here's the problem with that. I do not care what you want to believe. If you get to a point that you have to down another religion because it doesn't think or do as you, there are plenty of paths to truth. And it's only arrogant presumption that our path is the only one.
Yeah, one thing about religion, I listened to this interview where this guy in prison was being interviewed. Oh. And he said one thing I learned about, he said, being in jail for so long, one thing I learned about religion was that no matter what religion, what denomination you choose, it's all based under one principle. You have one or more deities or gods or beings that you use as a primary focus of teaching you right and wrong.
Right.
And your reward, whatever your reward is in death, is pretty much the same thing.
Right.
It's like, as long as I do the right things, I can get this reward.
Right.
So it's all based on that principle of consciousness. It's all in your mind.
Right.
And when you really look at it at the end of the day, it's just a mental thing. Religion, just the whole spirituality thing, is of the mind.
Right.
Right.
It's a mental thing. So,
well,
pretty
much
so
go ahead, Mia.
yeah, so what I was going to say is that for me, you know, the chaos that goes on in the church in terms of, you know, who shot John and all of that kind of thing, that just the church principles and all of that, that's not what probably pushed me away from religion. Mm-hmm. For me, it was just learning and reading and thinking of how chaotic religion is altogether. I don't care if it's Christianity or whatever. It just didn't seem to have any order about it.
Right.
And so I didn't want to be a part of something that didn't have order. So if it was something that somebody did to me in a church, then I feel like I could get over it and then eventually go back to the church. But for me, it didn't have anything to do with any of those things. Mm-hmm. None of that. You know, I can't tell you that I've had a bad experience in a church where somebody has treated me bad. They just hadn't. Right. I just don't want to be up there. But I'll tell you this, ever since that I stepped away from it, I've had plenty of Christians that treated me bad.
Yeah. How did Mahatma Gandhi say it? I love Christ, I just hate his Christians, huh? And we're going to talk about how his... And that's the same thing. When we talk about walking the walk and talking the talk, okay, well, I got a pastor up here, like his sermons, everything's good about him. He doesn't seem to be too far off the beaten path until I see what his political views are. And look, I don't try to sit around here... Look, I don't sit around here and try to knock people for their political views. But here's my thing, and I'm not going to mention any names, Trump. If you sit around here and you support a Nazi and you support his doctrine, okay, then you know what that makes? That makes two Nazis. That's what it is. Okay, so I'm sorry. Either you're and look, let's just be real. A lot of these evangelicals, they showed who they were 2016. You can talk all this stuff about compassion and conservatism. You can talk all this about we believe in being kind to our fellow people. We don't see race. We don't see color. But a Nazi or a person that rides the train of fascism came up and you voted for him overwhelmingly. I think he got, 87% of the evangelical vote? So, like, again, you got this sick, twisted trifecta.
I know a lot of Trump supporters, but I don't let that base my relationship with them because of who they vote for or who they believe in. Because it doesn't. It has nothing to do with that. Because I look at people how they treat me personally, and there are a lot of people that are not Trump supporters that believe in stuff that I don't agree with, but that still has nothing to do with my relationship with them. We just don't agree.
Hello, so let me ask you a question. So, would you be friends with somebody like Adolf Hitler? If he was it, I'm just saying because this is what we talking about.
No, I said people that I know personally.
Would you be a friend with a Nazi that supported him?
I'm not friends with any Nazis, but I'm saying this is that I know people, black and white, that voted for Trump.
Oh, and I got some
but my thing is that we had a relationship before him.
Good question.
So that has is how they treat me. Now, I'm definitely not going to interact or be friends with somebody that is blatantly racism.
Okay, because that was part of my question.
No, why would I?
Like, would you? Like,
why would I?
No.
Why
because,
would I?
I mean, people they're undercover.
That's
racists
everywhere. That's everywhere. That's at work.
World.
That's every type of interaction you deal with. You gonna run into somebody that's racism, and I'm not that person to say that I've never experienced like some black people. Though, like I've never experienced this, so I don't know what it is.
What black person is this?
But
there's a few. I was guilty of it for a long time. Yeah, I didn't see racism for what it was until it actually hit my front door.
I feel like this when it comes to racism, you don't have to experience it to know that it exists.
Yeah, I knew it existed. Right. It just never happened to me firsthand.
Let me.
My point is that I can just sit down and listen to my parents and my grandparents and know that it exists. exist and how they were treated has a
Hey,
lot
Juanita.
to do with
Hey.
my views. So
You
I
know
don't
who
have
you
to
are.
say I never experienced it, so it don't exist. That's crazy.
Hold on.
No, we're
That's-
not saying
that's
it didn't
crazy.
exist. We're just saying that what I'm saying is
Right.
I knew it existed, but it never really felt real to me until it hit me.
How old
Till
are
it-
you?
I'm 32.
Okay.
So,
Well, hold on. That's the same thing with me.
That-
I was born
No.
and raised in New York. I never really experienced firsthand racism till I came down here. You know, we had always dealt with stuff in New
It
York like
stopped at
how it
Frisk,
be.
New York.
Huh? I
It
was in
stopped
this-
at Frisk, New York.
Yeah, in Brooklyn, New
Frisk.
York. That's where we. But in Brooklyn, y'all look and don't get it twisted. You got racist sides in Brooklyn. You got Bensonhurst. You got Bay
Racism
Ridge.
exists everywhere.
And but that's the point.
Everywhere.
But the point
And you
is whether
see it
experience
see it more in certain areas, even around here, but racism exists everywhere. You may think like, oh well, that person, you know, like it could have been anything in a restaurant anywhere, and a person, a white person, you can't tell me that you can't realize that they may be treating you different.
the thing is, you see racism all the time.
Your
but
parents
it
never
affects
told you about anything
No,
they experienced.
hear me out. Just hear me out. It affects you differently when it hits you personally.
Right.
It's a completely different experience than seeing somebody else being treated racist.
I feel the same.
On
If
a
I
racist
feel
level
the
than
same
somebody being
about
treating you on a
racism.
racist
I feel the
level.
same about
It's a-
racism if
it's
it's
a different
me
experience.
directly or me watching somebody.
I'm the
It's a
same
different
way.
experience.
No,
I feel it. I
it's
don't care
things
who
that I
you
have
come
never
from.
went through that we see on TV, police beating men, shooting them and stuff. I feel the same way because those are my people, and the fact
not
that
true.
and the
But-
fact
but-
that you feeling this way and you're treating somebody different because of the color of their skin, and I got brothers, fathers, uncles, nephews,
Sons.
and stuff.
You on one now.
No,
Exactly.
I don't care because it's a lot of
I mean,
stuff
yeah.
I've never dealt with directly
Right.
when it comes to racism. But when I see it,
She
when
on
I
one,
see it, I feel a type of way.
and that's
Right,
understood.
exactly.
But what I was saying was, is one thing when you see it, you can feel a certain way, but when you experience it firsthand, it's
I'm
a
still
different
mad.
beast.
I'm still
It's
mad.
a different
So-
beast.
so-
But you gonna
still
be mad.
mad.
But I'm gonna tell you
I'm
now, you gonna
still
be a
mad.
whole lot
Happening to
madder
me or happening
when
to
it hits
somebody
you.
else.
No, I'm
It's
still
different.
mad. I'm still
It's
pissed.
different.
I don't care.
So we go in there, but okay.
Because
so-
it could be the same way that if you have kids and you see a child that's
see
been violated or kidnapped, and that ain't never happened to my kids, but I still feel a certain way about watching it because that's just something you don't do to kids.
Right.
And I feel the same
Right.
way
It's a
about
moral
black
issue.
people.
Okay,
Now look,
so-
I
yeah.
love my
So-
black people, and I'm gonna defend us to the
Okay,
end.
well, hold on, Mrs. I
when
love
you
my
right,
black folks.
when you right. Now I
Okay.
don't defend you when you wrong.
You're
just,
wrong.
and you
So
know, I
I
don't do that
wrong
now.
punching colonizer in the mouth. Was I? I'm gonna ask you. Was I wrong?
I don't know their whole situation, so I'm just saying.
It was all over.
I'm
Okay.
just saying. I mean, because some people.
I don't have to. It ain't never a bad idea to punch a
Thank
colonizer
you.
in the
Punch a
mouth.
Nazi in the mouth. And that's my whole point. If we sit around here talk about that, but that's what I'm saying, nigga G, that goes to your whole argument. You say, I don't. We're gonna come back. Yeah, you messed up. That's all right though. We're gonna go. We're gonna come back. We're gonna talk about punching colonizers in the mouth in about 3 minutes. We're gonna talk about what I want that.
But y'all serving the colonizer.
again. Love will live on, life must go
Having issues with child support, traffic tickets, criminal matters, family, wills, estates, and probate matters? Call Jimmy C. Morris of the Morris Law Firm here in Little Rock, Arkansas. An aggressive powerhouse attorney that will fight for you. Call him 7 days a week from Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. and from Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Weekend appointments are also available. And also, check out Jimmy Morris on The Devil's Advocate once a month for our infamous Ask the Attorney segment as he talks about social, political, and legal issues. Check him out, and his dedicated staff of professionals will fight for justice for you. Again, that's the Jimmy C. Morris Law Firm. His number is 501-319-7647. That's the Jimmy C. Morris Law Firm. His number is 501-319-7647. Call him.
Our mouth-watering brisket, savory smoked chicken, scrumptious meals and appetizers, or tantalizing sweet treats. We'll customize any menu to suit your needs and guarantee a flavorful and festive event for you and your guests. Check us out at
All right, y'all. We are back. We're gonna try this again. And for those of you guys that want to call in and talk about this, about what black folk should do.
Let me hush because I get heated about racism.
Really?
I get heated about black people being mistreated.
Talking about you don't cut no people because I cut them off. Or they get punched in the mouth.
No, I don't.
Well, I'm going to tell you right there.
No, that's a totally, that's just with me. Son, you can do that if you want to, because you're going to still run into some of them anyway. They just may not tell you they're a Trump supporter. But like I said, you're going to encounter people with different type of backgrounds that you don't know anything about anyway.
Okay, well, hold on. But this is my point.
I live in the real world. I live in the real world.
Now, you know what? That was a little bit.
I live in the real world, and I deal with many different backgrounds. Mm-hmm. So,
well, you know what? That colonizer, when he felt that jawbone shift when that punch came, that was real awakening to him. Ow! Ow! Oh! Ow! Anyway, so what I'm saying is, and for those of y'all that want to call in and talk about this, we got a number for y'all: 855-525-5668. That's a lot of five. Call in and talk to us about it. Hopefully Stanley will call us in the day if he ain't drunk somewhere with Cudjo Chestnut. So
I thought he was here.
No, he was here last week. Yeah, that boy there. Anyway, so we were talking and he came late, so you know that boy there. Anyway, I had to watch him. So when we talk about this, and here's my issue. Look, I can't sit around here and cut off people just because I voted that. But here's my issue: when we talk about people voting against their own interests. One thing this election did wake up for me about certain black folk, and we talk about, we're not monolithic, we can vote that way. You got certain Negroes, ever since slavery, that always thought that, one, they were inclusive in this society, and also thought that, hey, ultimately, what the real color in this country is green. So they don't care if they sit around here and coon for Trump. They don't care if they do, because what they did was they did like a lot of people do. It's called cognitive dissonance. They put out everything he said about race and wondered, what can I get in my pockets for it? In fact, it goes to an argument that Rondon put a post in the room about this woman, white woman who works for HuffPo, that sat around here and said, well, I was driving around it and I saw a fluent black man with a BMW driving with a NRA sticker and a pro-Tea Party thing. Now, you ask yourself, why would a black person who knows the rhetoric of these two companies know that the NRA was designed to, one, exterminate black folks? That's what the reason why it was formed. Okay, right out in the, and oh, look, somebody go get it. You don't believe it? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm gonna get some guns because you're gonna need them for these colonizers. Okay, but what I'm saying is that the NRA, if you look at the history of it, you know what it was founded on. Okay, that's the first thing. Secondly, then he's pro-Tea Party. How did the pro-Tea Party treat our first black president? How did they treat them? He was illegitimate. He was from Kenya. He was a monkey. He was a pimp.
Well, first of all, he could be raised totally different. And another thing, it could be all about the money. Why did Al Sharpton go and get a television show on a network of the people he talked about? Because they was paying him. At the end of the day, a lot of that stuff comes down to money.
Right, it comes down to money. So black people will sell ourselves for money, right?
And that's one thing I have learned about black folks. They'll do it at the drop of a dime.
For money.
In a minute.
That's very true.
In a minute.
Yeah, we you know.
In a minute.
It was power to the people, but they were hiring that day. I mean, you know, that.
Well, you know, if you think about black people, honestly, if you really think about black people, and at the top of the show, we were talking about black people and religion.
Right.
Typically, black people are far more religious than any other race of people.
You got that right.
They are.
They believe
any other race of people.
They believe.
They believe. So you would think that black people would be the conservatives based on the fact that they are so hyper religious. But now you have what I hear a lot of, the progressive Christian, which is an oxymoron to me, because
Right.
Even if I don't believe in the Bible, I know that the Bible say what it say. It's not progressive. It's a book. So what it says is what it says,
right.
Whether you like it or not.
But first
you might
of all,
not like what it says, but that's what it says.
What some people fail to realize is that most religions were taught by the slave owners.
Right.
They use religion as a fear tactic to make most of them slaves not leave and to stay with them by giving them the fear that once if they try to escape, that something gonna happen to them or something.
That was a standing ovation on that one.
It was used against slavery also, because look at Nat Turner. He started reading from the Bible.
And he woke up.
Yep.
Right,
and
but
Frederick
still,
Douglass, John Brown, all of them were pastors, and they
woke up.
Yep.
But they could also
people,
read too.
But here's the thing about the Bible.
There's a
black
difference.
people would be so excited to back a religion that you have to die to find the other side of happiness. You gotta suffer the whole, and nobody came back to tell you it's gonna be all right in them golden streets. So you doing all of this suffering, and you cool with that because in your mind you think you're going to heaven and it's all gonna be good. But nobody else came back and told you. Meanwhile, these colonizers are enjoying heaven on earth.
Thank you.
While we still sitting
and still think they're going to heaven after they done did you dirty.
And yet holding on.
Punch him in the mouth. Punch him in the mouth.
Lord Jesus, I'm just gonna
classmate.
for a little while longer.
Because that's what they hear every Sunday.
That's right.
They hear every Sunday, and they basing all of that on their faith.
Right.
They're hoping and wishing, but they just know that soon enough it's gonna come.
But do you also have to let's go back even further before we start talking about what Paul said and how
we're gonna have to get a pastor in here one day.
You gonna get passed up in here? No, because you might mess around.
Definitely
right down here, down the hallway.
But definitely not any of the pastors that I'm Facebook friends with.
Boy, look, I'm gonna leave you. Boy, anyway, but hold on, and let's go back even further past what Paul was talking about. We'll say because they were talking about Paul's letter to Christians is about how slaves should behave to their masters. But when Jesus spoke, and he was talking apocryphal teachings because that's what the sect he belonged in, even though he told his people to suffer through and to render unto Caesar, there was always, before you went to heaven, there was always an idea that the goodness would eventually overthrow the wicked. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Even he knew that Rome would end up being overthrown because of its own wickedness. So that's why he told his people, look, don't sit around and get exterminated trying to fight them. They're a superior force. You can't beat them. But eventually their own poison will overthrow them. Okay, so my thing about it is that what people have to understand is that he didn't expect he didn't sit around and just say and understand this too. He was also telling people to do this on a spiritual level. He was not talking about, because he was also Jewish, and the Jewish take and the Old Testament take on how you should deal with your enemies is totally different. The Jews totally believe if a person comes for you, your enemy comes for you, you're supposed to exterminate them. That's their take from back in the roots of King David. There was no turning the other cheek, and we'll go into that one day about turning the other cheek, what that actually means too, because it's not what you think it means.
But one thing,
probably turn your butt around and walk off after you in the business.
Or punch him in the mouth.
I say this.
Doing you wrong.
I say this. No getting off foot, but there's this book I found. Called Awkward Moments in the Bible.
Right.
Look it up.
Okay, well, thank you. But now, hey, Karen, we gonna have to take a second because now we're gonna come back to this another time. But I think next week, since you were talking about prison and people finding light, man, I think that's gonna be a topic for next week about why you sisters want to find them jailbirds.
I don't understand how you can have a serious relationship with someone that's incarcerated. I don't get that.
No, because I know this.
And I know people people will send money, go visit them, and I start out pen pal. I don't get it.
And still live their lives outside in the free world.
And they living their lives inside.
Exactly.
My goat disapproves of your shenanigans.
With somebody in prison.
Oh, y'all not. Wait
a minute.
Next week.
What did you say, Mia?
What happened in prison?
I can see it if you're in a relationship with somebody and they subsequently go to prison, and so you still with them for a while. But to start a relationship with somebody that's in prison already, that don't make sense.
Okay, well, you just wait. Hey, Rhonda, y'all just wait next week. We're going to talk. Y'all just going to talk it all in the last 10 minutes.
Well, next week's topic.
Next week's topic.
Love.
Find you a jailbird.
Love with me.
Explain us why you so stupid,
who are
boo.
Incarcerated. Because you have men that send
Kevin.
women money, too, in the prison.
Yeah. Yeah, we can find whoever got a jailbird boyfriend. Call us next week. Tell us why you so stupid, boo. Because at the lights out, they swapping him for a Twinkie. Anyway, hold on. We got to talk about Mad Max.
Not a Twinkie, jeez.
A Twinkie. He getting swapped for a Twinkie with the cream filling right in the middle. Anyway, we gonna sit around here today. Don't start with me. My goat is not dealing with y'all shenanigans today. Okay, so today, this is what we're going to talk about.
It's so nice to have another female co-host.
Whatever. She saved your life. That's all she doing is saving your life. Me, you can't save her forever, darling.
No,
we got a female co-host. It's good to have us another.
It's nice to have other female perspective.
That's what, yeah, okay. Well, that's anyway. So, Mad Max. We got a few minutes on this one. Maxine Waters decided that, hey, you know, after what happened with Sanders, Festa-looking Sanders. Uh-oh. Mia, y'all doing some strange things. You keep losing signal.
I thought that was somebody calling.
No, that might have been Stanley, but no, anyway. I know what he's doing. So, Lord help. She must be going through low note.
She lost.
Yeah, she must be going through low note. Anyway, so Maxine Waters came and went for Republicans today. Hey, Beulah. They came through, and the Democratic Party sat around here and chewed her out because they were like, no, we don't agree with that. She should not be telling, people to go and harass.
Okay, exactly what happened?
I
told you I was out of the country. I didn't keep up with politics or anything.
Hey, Mia.
I do. Sarah Huckabee, they got put out of restaurant.
She got put out from or at least heckled in the Red Hen. No, the owners refused to serve her. Let me put that out there.
And how many
times
they
don't agree with her political
and a lot of people refuse to serve us just because based on the color of our race, our skin tone. So I don't feel sorry for her.
Because I could go punch a cotton eye in the mouth today. What, you going to take me out there? Just okay.
So
anyway, so my thing about it was this is what happened, and she said, look, whenever you see somebody who's in the Trump administration, harass them. And it basically stemmed from the immigration issue where the children were being separated from the families. She said, no, this is not what we're doing. Now, last week we talked about the immigration issue and about why, why black folks lashing onto it for Hispanics, blah, blah, blah. That's a whole different story. But the question is, do you think the Democrats went too far when they told her to kind of shut up and be quiet?
I would say this. They're like the Democrats are really going about it all the wrong way.
Right.
And the thing is this, what people like Senator Nina Turner is trying to get people to see is Democrats are still hanging on to the old way.
Right.
And you got people like Senator Bernie Sanders who's pushing for, something different, being a progressive.
Right.
And with these people still holding on to this old way, it's like they're now just kind of just throwing stuff at a wall and hoping it sticks. And usually, and for the most part, it's just bashing people on the other side.
Right.
And so that's kind of where it's coming from. It's like, now we need to quell this fire because we got to try to figure out something different. Mm-hmm. But what they're trying to do is they're still trying to basically use the definition of insanity. They're trying to still do the same thing. It's just like now we're gonna cut back on bashing the alt-right, but we're still gonna keep the same principles and same policies and different things, and we're gonna keep running with that. Where and I think that's really what it comes down to. It's more about trying to get to the issues to reach people, and this whole bashing thing, they don't really know how to handle it.
Right. So my question is, do you think the Democrats are still and is it time for new blood? A week or two ago.
I ain't got time to be out there harassing y'all.
You ain't got
I ain't got time to be doing that.
Trump supporter beat him.
I ain't got time to be harassing a Trump supporter. I got other more important things
to do. Get
to
the issues.
Yeah. Well, I mean, go ahead, Mia.
Well, not only that, but I mean, the Democrats have to at some point come up with a concise platform, what they're standing on, instead of jumping to react to everything the Republicans do. Because they don't have a cohesive argument. There's a true fracture within the Democratic Party, a true fracture. And
well,
it should be.
I think the biggest issue that the Democrats are going to have is that they are counting on people to act on their better angels. And the only way people are going to act on their better angels is if the economy tanks. I'm going to tell you now, as long as the economy is decent, and this goes for black folk too, when we talk about what black folks should stop believing, here's the problem I got with black folks believing. Black folks sit around here and say this, oh, well, right now, black unemployment is the lowest in decades. Isn't that nice? Well, that's great if you're black and hearing that, but I'm sorry, I've been gainfully employed since I got out of law school. So my thing about it is that doesn't really affect me so much, but it's great to hear that. You understand what I'm saying? So that may not mean much to a black person that ain't got a job or can't find work, but that doesn't mean anything to me that's already been working. That may mean something to them. My thing about it is that we have to stop believing that. We have to stop reacting. Secondly, the cohesive message. The Democrats just elected in New York, my home state, they elected a Democratic socialist, pretty much like Bernie Sanders. So my question is maybe the blood in the Democrat Party is starting to get old, and that they're looking for fresh new faces with fresh new ideas.
Well, a lot of people just, they want health care, they want...
right, and they're tired of weak Democrats caving into Republicans. They tired of that.
Yeah, they want their student loans erased. I mean, stuff like that is what a lot of people want.
If
the Democrats ain't... they want it at least... They want it at least reduced, but if the Democrats ain't talking...
Please take away my loan forever.
If the Democrats ain't talking about that, then... if they ain't gonna say that, they don't have a Democrat
saying that. If you ain't talking
that,
about the issues, we don't want to hear it.
Right now, we're in what I call the era of whiff 'em.
Yeah, what's in it for me?
Right.
And that's really what it is. If Democrats, stop focusing on the alt-right and the antics that they're doing, and focus on the actual issues of the people, then that's when we'll actually see this blue wave that they've been talking about.
Sorry, Maxine, I can't be out there spending time heckling and harassing people because we have different views when you really need to be out there trying to get some
Maxine
things
ain't
done.
going though. She said if you shoot at her, you better shoot straight. She'll whoop you. She'll punch a car knife in the mouth. That's what you do. But, and my thing about it is, and I said this 1,000 times, 1,001, here we go. Democrats, get a cohesive message. You're right. Stop trying to sit around and talk about Trump's a screw up. If you ain't figured that out, did you see that poll that said half the country believe that he's racist? I'm like, that's all?
Because if you really think about it, people that constantly talk about, well, Trump this, Trump that, and all that is no different than what white folks did when Obama was in the office. That's all they talked about. That's all they did. And so, I mean, to continue to talk about what he's doing and all that, it's not, I mean, they did it for 8 years. I think we're only going to have to do it for 4.
Well, the Democrats better get on board because I'm still waiting for a viable candidate. Now the time to float him out here.
I think it's only going to be. I think it's only going to be for 4 because a lot of people that voted for him really regrets it now.
Oh yeah,
especially those especially those that was against Obama, but they were benefiting from the health care.
Right. So let us go on and end it on that note. We want to thank everybody. We are getting ready to begin. What's this show? Black Focus. There you go. We get ready to do Black Focus with Dynamic Dave. I want to thank you, Nikki G, Head 7, and Mia. Don't do nothing strange on that highway there. Don't forget Devil's Advocate Picnic coming up September the 1st, y'all. And we will see you again next Friday. Same bat time, same bat channel. And don't forget, if you can't stand the heat, stay out of Hell's Kitchen. We'll see you, folks.
Django.